order at 6 o'clock. Would y'all please stand with you, say a prayer.
Lord God, we come to thee tonight and asking for your guidance, asking for the help we need to make the right decisions for this district. Pray that you be with all our children as they travel to and from games and other events around the Panhandle. Keep them safe and bring them home to us, we pray. Help us know that all we have to do is lay it at your feet. We give it to you, and you'll help us do whatever we need to do to make things right. Just pray that you be with us every night. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
All right. We're going to start off with recognizing our guests tonight, and let's start with Mrs. McCowan.
Oh, I do not have any, and my guests couldn't come this evening, so I don't have any.
Okay. Mrs. Carr, do you have any guests?
Yeah, Mr. Jones and I teamed up together and we invited Miss Rogers and any of the band members that wanted to come to be recognized for making it to area in the band competition.
All right. Mrs. Rogers. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You could just kind of tell them about the
Oh, okay, I
competition.
wasn't sure what was expected, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So we made it to, we got all ones at the region contest 3 Saturdays ago, and then this, was it already past Saturday, just this past Saturday? We made it to the area competition. There were 26 bands who managed to get all ones throughout our region, and that were also there. And we did not get into the top 10, but we got 17th out of 26, so it's still quite close to the finals range. So those kids are very, very hardworking, and they are just excellent musicians and excellent students.
Very good.
Did any of them come? Just right, is it race?
I'm not sure if anybody else came. So Rayson is one of our top trombonists, and he was actually one of the soloists in the last song. So if you hear a trombone playing, that's him.
All right. Coach Lee, do you have anybody?
I do not.
Oh, but Mr. Jones brought his own too. I think.
Oh, Mr. Jones. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Tracy's here, and he has some students that want to demonstrate something they've been learning. It's very important.
Okay.
Okay, all right, got some students. So one thing that I do periodically throughout the year is teach them how to tie a tie. So they're gonna show you how to tie a tie. Okay, you guys ready?
Nope.
Oh, you are. Okay, go ahead, guys. You're doing good.
I'm just dying laughing up here.
Doing good, Garrett.
Nice job. Here.
You got it.
Okay, do we have anybody else that we want to enter?
Do you want to go up there real quick? Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
You want to do it? Okay. Need me to walk you through it? Okay.
All right, good job.
All right, do we have anybody else that would? Anybody else? Kim, you don't have anybody?
I do not. My guests are speaking in a little bit.
Okay. All right. If anybody else wants to stay, you're more than welcome to stay, and we're gonna move on to open forum. And we have Darla Hayes. Mrs. Hayes?
Should I just stand here? Or?
Yeah, stand there. I'll give you 5 minutes to speak. And
Perfect.
Mr. Hine will keep time, and we'll go from there.
All right, perfect. Well, my name's Darla Hayes. I'm Ethan Beltran's mom. My son was involved in an incident on October 9th during football practice in the boys' locker room. He did a stupid incident, which I have never tried to downplay. He got recorded doing something in the boys' locker room, and then this got distributed over social media. Ethan got placed in 10 days of DEAP, which was fine. We all agreed upon that. A couple days after that, I'm hearing rumors from the community, from the football players, about Mr. Sleeve over here making some derogatory and homophobic comments in regards of my son, or homosexual comments, and basically stating in the weight room one morning that anybody that displays these type of actions can be considered performing sexual assault or displaying feelings of sexual desires, tendencies, or feelings. He also further, and I quote, stated, "If you have these Brokeback Mountain feelings in my athletics department, you can sign yourself out now." So I brought this attention to Garrison, had a meeting with Sleeve in person. The meeting started off very shaky at first. He had a very cold energy. We kind of matched that energy at first. He did not deny the comment. He did state that he did say it, but it stemmed from a different incident in regard to his wife's physics class with 4 seniors. Still, I asked him if he felt like that was an appropriate conversation for him to be having with his football team, knowing that this is a closed incident. He furthermore just alluded to the fact that it was based on a different incident. Furthermore, he continued, when I asked him, "Do you feel like my son sexually assaulted this child in any way?" He did not answer that question, but he did state that my son is too touchy-feely. How does he get to make that decision on a kid that's lovable? That's how we are. We hug, we say, "I love you." We're just a lovable family. Anyways, we got nowhere during our conversation, so we left. I brought this up to Garrison. I was concerned of the double standards because my son was banned from football practice, games, going school property, treated like a criminal. He's been facing harassment, bullying, severe punishment. Yeah, there's not a victim. There's no victim in all of this, but they continue to intend that there is. So I spoke with Garrison, and he said that he's going to defend Sleeve for the comment because Coach Sleeve did not intend for it to come out that way, that I'm taking it. And Garrison also stated that the kid that videoed, which is a Texas Penal Code 2115, it's illegal to record in a boys' locker room. It's invasion of privacy. It's also in the Student Code of Conduct. He said that the kid that recorded it did not cause any, or was not intentionally trying to harm. So my question is, if we're going to base our disciplinary actions off of intent, why did these people get to intend that my son did something in a malicious manner when you can talk to the person that it happened to and they don't perceive it like that? But these guys do. So why can't I perceive his comment the way that I want to perceive it if these ones get to perceive what they see? Furthermore, I've tried to drop this. I've just been questioning the double standards. It seems unfair. Why does Ethan have to go through this? He's been an emotional wreck. I told that to Sleeve. He said he would talk to Ethan. He basically went to Ethan and said, "Get your grades up." That's not boosting somebody up. That's not giving them hope again. Garrison said he talked to him. I had to reach out to him in 2 emails. He finally did go talk to him. Then today I get a call from my son, and he's freaking out saying that he's being kicked out of school. And I'm like, hold up, what's going on? He goes, something's going on. Camden told everybody that I'm being kicked out of school. Camden's leave. So I said, okay, I'll go talk to Garrison. So I come up to Garrison today to talk to him, and he basically plays like he knows nothing. I don't know really what's going on. All I can tell you is that this is bad. It's being handed over to the police. I'm just at a loss. Like, we requested the transition form this week. And because the school has dropped, our leadership has dropped this investigation, they've not done it properly. The incident happened October 9th, for now November 6th. They're just now getting us that transition form. It should have been done the day that this incident happened.
That is 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. All right. We'll move on to new business. Does anybody have any questions or? Sure, go ahead.
All right, we got a donation from Wrenchway to our auto shop for $500, and also we got $17,500 from Phillips 66, which $10,000 was for STEM, $5,000 was for dual credit, and $2,500 is for the Eagle Press. So we appreciate Phillips 66 donating that money. They do a good job for us. And also, I didn't put this on there, but they donated several pallets of water to be used in concession stands with our athletes, band members, and all that. And we just got it about a week ago, so we appreciate that as well.
Anybody have any questions? All right, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Doug, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Rusty. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries. All right. Regular agenda. All right, we're going to discuss the bilingual ESL education program report.
Yes, so every year we have to just discuss our bilingual ESL program, and this is what happened as of last year. Our program here at Sanford Fritch is considered a pull-out program where we take students and we serve them in the English language arts class for their ESL services. And we're trying to help them gain English language proficiency. On slide 4, there is a video for you guys if you're interested at some point in time. It's very short, just to show you how the process works to get students qualified for ESL. On slide 5, there's a comparison of students enrolled last year in their ESL classes, or as bilingual last year compared to this year, and our numbers are growing with our English language learners. They're typically, right now they're in the elementary grades, so we have quite a few there. And on slide 6, it just explains how we test them basically. And so in kindergarten and first grade, they have a holistic test with reading and writing, and then speaking and listening. And then as they move grades 2 through 12, they move to like an online type test that helps to see where they're at in their English language skills. At some point, we're hoping we can take them out of the ESL program. To be able to get out of the ESL program, they have to be able to get advanced high on their their TELCAS test, as well as scoring. They have to pass their STAR test, their STAR reading test. So sometimes it takes them several years to be able to get out of the ESL program. On slide 8, it shows where our students tested last year in the TELCAS test. We had a grade 1 student in the advanced high. Grades 2 and 5 students scored advanced. Our grade 8 student and a kindergarten student scored intermediate, and that's just where they're at in their English skills, so where they're learning. We have not yet had any students that were able to test out of our ESL program. They're still working on those language skills right now. On slide 10, it talks about just some of the things we look at when we work on our ESL program. We look at STAR data, TELCAS data. We do some parent involvement activities that I'll get to in a few minutes. We're working on getting our teachers, all of our English language arts teachers certified, and we actually just had our last teacher pass her ESL test this year, so all of our English language arts teachers are certified in ESL. We've had to fill out waivers in the past for our teachers since we didn't have all of them certified, but as of this year, we have not had to file an ESL waiver, so we're pretty happy about that. One thing we've done to try to help teachers is we have paid for their study courses, we pay for their certification tests to try to help them get those certifications so our district is in compliance. And so we are there now. On slide 11 and 12, it's just some star results that we have to share with you about where our students are testing that are English language learners. And they seem to do, fairly well for still having some of those language barriers. On slide 13, some parent involvement activities that we've done. We send out bilingual newsletters every month through Parent Square. We try to have our communications in both English and Spanish. If parents need interpreters, we provide those. Elementary school has events that we invite all parents to. Title I meetings count for some things that we have for our English language learners. We try to have all of our handouts and things in both languages. There's also some watch parties that Region 16 and TEA hosts that have events for parents of bilingual students. They also have they offer free English classes for parents. There's a lot of things we can provide for them. Last year we also sent out information to parents as well about some things through the immigration offices and things like that to help them get citizenship if they need that. So we try to contract with Region about some things to help our parents who are coming in with students that have language barriers. And then we also we use some of our allotment money for our English language learners to help pay for the professional development at Region 16 to help our teachers get certified. Slide 15 just talks about the waivers that we filed before, which we did not have to file them this year. Some more things that we do for our students on slide 16, some of the language things we use, we're using Dinolingo. It's a program at the elementary school which helps our English language learners, especially when they're young. It associates pictures and words with English and Spanish words to try to help them learn English. At high school, we've purchased some devices that help students communicate back and forth with their friends and with teachers to help with the language barriers. So there's some different things that we're using to help students. And then slide 17 is just the requirement that we have to have. We look at our program every year, and we have to present this to you guys to let you know what we're doing.
Okay. Thank you. So you want to go ahead and CMR yours?
No.
Richard?
That's me.
Okay.
So, I'll give you these, I only have a couple sets of the proposals, if you want to page through them, but I'll tell you why we ranked them. I'll tell you the process, and then I put on the desk here the ranking, if you want to look through the proposals, but I'll tell you why we did the ranking. So the process on this CAMR is you can accept the ranking that Jason and I did, or you can decide that you want to re-rank them based on the criteria, and everybody would have to fill out a ranking sheet, and we would tabulate them. So on the ranking that we're presenting to you, Jason and I went through in each of the categories, looked at the proposals that they gave us, and gave them a 1 through 5 score. So I'll go through what we did on fee and overhead. The general conditions, we kind of ignored that because they'll put down a number for general conditions, but they don't really know because they don't know the project. So, and one of the respondents even put, hey, this general conditions thing is just kind of a guess because we don't actually know the project. Like general conditions are, do we have to have a trailer sitting out here to manage it and stuff? And since we haven't actually given them the project, they really don't know what the general conditions are. So we kind of just went by the management fee on our score. And Wiley Hicks did a 3.5% management fee. Page and Associates did 3.85, and CIB did 4. So we marked down CIB the most, Page a little bit, and then gave Wiley Hicks full points on that one. On experience and services, So the thing that we really looked at there is warranty. So both Page and Associates and CIB said if there was a warranty issue, that we just come to them and they'll take care of it. In the proposal from Wiley Hicks, it said that we would have to go to the subcontractor that did the work to get the warranty issue addressed, and we would also copy them in on it. We marked them down pretty good on that one because we don't want to have to keep track of what subcontractor did what. In the past, when we did the 2014 bond, if we had a warranty issue, we just want one person to go to. So we marked Wiley Hicks down on that one. Reputation and references, we marked, we gave Page and Associates a little bit more than that because they're the ones that have done all of the work for us in the past 10 years, the major work. So we gave them the full 5 points. We gave Wiley Hicks 4. We really marked CIB down because they're the ones that did the elementary school, and we really haven't enjoyed the construction on that facility. So from our experience, we didn't. We marked it down pretty good on that one. Quality of CM services, we're sure that they're all being fully qualified. Proposed personnel, the Page and Associates gave us a nice bio on everybody, and the person that they're proposing as the site superintendent is the same person that was the site superintendent when we did the emergency repairs to the pre-K wing. So, $3.5 million of this $4.6 million construction is doing what we did in the pre-K wing to the rest of the building. So the person that's already been there and done it, we thought that was a plus. CIB also gave bios on everybody that they were proposing. Wiley Hicks just gave us names, so we marked them down a little bit on that one. Financial strength, the only reason we marked CIB down on that is they just have a lot less projects and financial out there than the other two. They're all financially strong, it's just the Page and Associates and Wiley Hicks are just bigger. And then safety record, we didn't see anything in any of them that's safety record. So then the points totaled out to rank Page first, Wiley Hicks second, and CIB third. Any questions about that?
No, we didn't have any problems with Page and Associates last time, did we?
No. I mean, there were some warranty issues, but there are always going to be warranty issues in construction.
I mean, major stuff.
There was no major stuff.
Smooth for the most part.
It was smooth for the most part. We did also look at, one of the things we asked in the proposal is, do you have any pending actions against you? The Page and Associates has one issue with Childress, but it hasn't gone, not Childress, it was the oil town. Canadian, thank you. They have one issue with Canadian, but it hasn't gone to litigation, that it's still being resolved between lawyers. Wiley Hicks, they said they went for the first, I think it was 54 years without anything, and then just recently they have two different a school district and some other organization that are actually suing them. I think Miami is suing them for something. And then I honestly don't remember on CIB what they said. I don't think they had any current litigation against them. So that was another thing. That went into somewhere, the reputation, I believe. Yeah, that's why we knocked down Wiley Hicks just a little bit. It's just because they had a couple more suits against them. So yeah, we really did. We enjoyed working with Page and Associates before. Either Page and Associates or Wiley Hicks would be a perfectly acceptable firm. I mean, they're the top two ranks. The way this works is you approve the ranking, and then we'll go out, you'll authorize Jason to go negotiate. Then we'll negotiate with the top one, and then if we can't come to an agreement on terms, we move down to the next one. Can't come to agreements on terms with that, we move down to the third one. So that's the process. The only choice you have to make is, do you want to go through the proposals and re-rank it yourself, or do you just want to accept the proposals we've presented to you?
I think no fine job.
I think we go with what you presented. Sound good?
These were the only three that
send anything in, is that right?
They were the only 3 that came, yes.
Everybody good with it? Do it. Okay. If you look on there, there's a motion on the computer. So do I have a motion to approve the contractor?
I move to
Or,
approve,
excuse me, construction manager.
I move to approve the construction manager risk rankings and authorize the superintendent to negotiate and execute the contract.
Have a motion by Rusty, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries.
Oh, I did forget to mention one other thing. We did run it by the architect, and he was fine with the rankings as well.
All right, let's move on to Kim. Kim, will you tell us about the Blue Bonnet Learning?
Yes. So we are going to do a little presentation about Blue Bonnet Learning and why we should adopt Texas Blue Bonnet Learning for K through 5 math. So on the first slide, just a little bit about Blue Bonnet Learning. It's a state-developed instructional tool. It's there to help teachers and foster student success. Blue Bonnet was formerly known as Eureka Math, and I know some people are kind of like not so fond with Eureka Math in the beginning, but Eureka Math has really refined the way the math is presented, and it's there to help teachers. There was a new House Bill 1605 that was set out, and Texas has to have curriculum now that lays out for teachers where they don't have to plan as much, and it's basically where teachers can just go and teach the curriculum that's been created by people who know how to write curriculum, where teachers can focus on just actually teaching. On the next slide, our current K through 5 math challenges our curriculum is out of date, and it does not meet the STAR test rigor. Teachers are spending hours of time trying to figure out what materials they need to supplement into our Envision curriculum to try to hopefully get students on grade level. The old way of drilling and killing math facts is just not working anymore. Students need to learn how to do conceptually thinking, and our students, they need to know how to process and do a real-world application of problems. That's the way STAR is now. Jobs need people being able to think critically, and our students are struggling, and the old just math facts, this and that is not working. And we can show you that with some data. I'll get there in a minute. On the next slide, it just talks about some of the benefits of Blue Bonnet Learning. It's 100% TEKS aligned. Texas has gone through a process called High Quality Instructional Materials. They're trying to get companies to submit materials that meet this certain, there's a rubric Texas has come up with. Blue Bonnet Learning is the only one so far that's met that curricula or the criteria that Texas has set. And they haven't yet voted it into adoption, but it will be voted like November 19th through 22nd. State of Texas School Board or State Board of Education is going to be voting on this to make sure it meets the criteria. But this is going to be all grade level material. It's research based. It helps represent diversity in students and people across Texas. It's cross-curricular. That's a big thing they're looking at right now, is incorporating all different subjects into each other so students can see how things intertwine with each other. Math is just not separate from reading, from science. They all go together at some point, and so that's one of the things that Texas is really trying to push. This has a lot of resources built in it for teachers, and it really focuses on conceptual understanding and skill mastery, and not just the old-fashioned way of learning math facts, stuff like that. So what we did, on the next slide, we actually went to visit East Ridge Elementary School in Amarillo. We took, Ms. McCowan and I took every math teacher from the elementary school one day, and we went to visit this school because they're one of the lower socioeconomic schools in Amarillo that have been using this program for 4 years now. This school has 39 different languages spoken in there. They have a 60% free and reduced population, whereas we had 54%, so we're fairly comparable in the population. In the first year that they used this curriculum, their star ratings went from a D to an 89 in the 1 year, first year of curriculum use. One thing that really impressed upon me and Ms. McCown and the teachers is the principal there. She lives in Canyon. She's been a principal there for 15 years. She has a child that's in 5th grade, and she actually takes her child to East Ridge because she believes so firmly in this curriculum and doesn't take her child to Canyon. So that spoke a lot, and as well as the math coach. She does the same thing there. That school's offered us support. They were very welcoming. What we did that day is we started the day off in a 4th grade math class. We watched the teacher teach and watched the kids interact with the curriculum. Then we went to another grade level. We went and watched how they planned, and they coach each other, and they practice teaching with each other with a math coach or like an administrator. And then they do this every single day. They coach the lesson the day before they actually teach it. That way their math lesson is already strong and taught when they get to the class the next day. Because as we all know, when we teach, as you get through the day, your last class gets a better lesson than your first class because you learn, what you should and shouldn't say to them as the day goes on. This curriculum is set up to where you practice it with someone before you teach, before the day, so you've already kind of gone through it and made sure you're strong in your lesson. So we got to see them practice that, and then we went to several other, what other grades did we go to? First
grade.
5th grade. And, yeah.
And then in kinder planning.
And kinder planning. So it was a day full of learning to see it teach, interact with kids. And it was really, the problems were hard. It's very, very hard, and some of those I was kind of struggling myself to figure out, like, why are they doing this or why are they doing that? But it all makes sense once you really kind of see the process happen. The kids are doing some super high level stuff, and the results are paying off. The benefit of this program is it starts at K through 5. It builds on each other, and every single day you can go in a kindergarten class, 1st grade, no matter what grade. All of them are working on the same exact TEK just at that grade level. So a principal knows exactly what TEK the kids are working on, and it's always the same every single day, every classroom. So they know which TEK the kids are working on. You just see it in the different grade levels. So there's a lot of benefit to that. And what I wanted to do before I move on is just kind of have these ladies talk to you about what they felt, what they feel about it, what they thought about the day, what they're thinking about the curriculum before I move on.
I'm Elizabeth Links, and I teach kindergarten. I have actually taught Eureka and Borger for 1st grade. What I've learned is it's challenging. It's a hard curriculum to jump into, but the results at the end of it showed me that it was completely worth all the work. And they even said that in East Ridge that it's hard the first year, and I will completely agree with that. But what I saw in the growth of my students is the number sense that my kids could do, which is quickly seeing the number and being able to say what the number is. Also recognizing the hidden numbers within numbers, and I know that does not make sense, but kids can sit there and pop off like with number bonds and stuff like that, where they know how numbers are created. Another thing that I noticed is the different strategies that they teach. It goes fast. Like one day you're learning one strategy, the next day you're doing another. But they build upon that, and later on where kids can choose what strategy fits the best for them. And I never taught it that way. It was like, this is my strategy, you're going to use this. Where they have strategies, and they get to pick how they want to choose it. Understanding word problems, they have a problem of the day every single day. And where my 1st graders were reading the problems at the end of the day, or the end of the year, which was mind-blowing to me that I did not know they could do that, which is cross-curricular with ELA. One thing that I've seen is Eureka teaches the why in why they're doing math, not just getting the answer. They want you to understand why you got that answer and to solve and to show your work. That's a big thing with them. The concepts build upon each other, where it makes it easier for kids to make a connection and to retain the information, where you're creating a solid foundation. I think sometimes we don't have a solid foundation and we're going here and then we're back down. So if we're creating that solid foundation and we keep building upon which my last thing is being aligned on the campus. And we were just talking about some teachers are doing one curriculum, another grade level is doing another curriculum, and it's not the best, to me, it's not making the best impact where the child can be successful. So with Eureka, we can build upon in kindergarten and continue all the way up to at least 5th grade. And I think that creates them to be successful when we're coming to the STAR testing and then also college readiness.
Okay. Forgive me, I talk in front of 3rd graders all day, not adults, so I'm a little nervous. So I'm gonna read what I said, or what I have prepared, or I'm gonna forget most of it. So, as many of you know, my name is Brooke Moffitt. I'm a 3rd grade math teacher. This is my 9th year teaching, all of which have been 3rd grade math in Fritch. I came to Fritch fresh out of college and have had the same curriculum in vision since I have started teaching. At first, I loved it. It was the only thing I knew, and it seemed to work well. As the years have gone on, I like to think I've become pretty good at teaching the content in this curriculum. I've seen what works and what has been a total failure, and then had to fix it year after year. Last year on the STAR, our STAR tested math teachers were the best for the job. We knew the school was in trouble for our math scores, and we knew what needed to happen to bring the scores up. We aligned ourselves vertically with the curriculum in hopes this would be the impact we needed. When the scores came back, they weren't any better, and we knew something needed to change. There were 3 experienced, incredible teachers teaching the curriculum we were given, working extremely hard day after day, and to have nothing to show for that was a huge letdown. Change is hard, especially for me. I don't do change. Last week we went to Eastridge Elementary School and saw this Eureka Bluebonnet curriculum in play in the classrooms, and it was truly an eye-opening experience, probably one of the best trainings I've ever had. Eureka Bluebonnet in action totally changed my opinion of it after seeing it in the classroom, because I was one of those people, no way, I don't like this, but after seeing it in action, 100% I'm all in. Every student was engaged, worked bell to bell, there wasn't a minute to spare, and it also I think it would affect even discipline here. There would not be time to act out and mess around. There was a lot of small group conversation happening, vocabulary was higher level, and the students were participating and even seemed excited to learn it. Having a scripted lesson created by someone who actually knows the TEKS and knows the STAR test, what the STAR expects from us, will be a game changer. The Envision curriculum we currently have does not have the rigor needed to be successful, kind of like Kim was saying. I can't tell you how much time and how much money I spend going and trying to find something else to bring more rigor into this Envision curriculum, because the kids being successful is the end goal in the end. Eureka Bluebonnet curriculum would totally change that. Everything would be totally built in as it is. One of the big things that the principal at Eastridge said is that the teachers in your building they're not curriculum designers. They are just the teachers. That's what they're trained to do, and that's what we need to let them do. And that I really loved that. I would love to be able to read over a lesson plan that has already been created, put my own spin, my own personality on it, and then just go deliver it. Eureka Bluebonnet would give us that. This would also as Ms. Winks was saying, keep our school vertically aligned, students hearing the same terminology in each grade level, but extended to that TEK would create a better transition from grade level to grade level. I also realized that there's going to be a lot of pushback from parents about the way this curriculum teaches math, because it's considered new math. It's not, this is how you learned it, this is the algorithm, this is what you're going to do. It's a lot of pictures, it's a lot of making the kids think on their own, and there's going to be a lot of pushback on that. I kind of was that person a little bit at the beginning. But whenever you see it in action and totally see it, then it all makes sense, and it all creates the big picture that needs to happen in the end. Kind of like Ms. Wink said, finding the why, that's really important for them. This curriculum totally does that with the pictures and all of this. Let's see, I kind of went off track already. Some of the 3rd grade students I have right now were exposed to parts of Eureka Bluebonnet curriculum last year in 2nd grade. And just that small exposure has already shown to be super successful. Their vocabulary is stronger and they understand more of the why thought process. Their NWEA scores at the beginning of the year were also on grade level, or just a few of them were slightly below grade level. This is a huge positive change compared to previous years. Kind of like Kim said, I think this is going to be the positive impact that we need. It's not going to fix all of the math department problems. It's not going to change overnight, but I do think this is a step in the right direction.
Hi, okay. So I'm Ashley Hansen. I'm the first grade math teacher. I've been teaching with Fridge for 6 years, and 3 of those have been, or 4, sorry, this is 4 years in math. The biggest takeaway I got from going and watching these teachers use Eureka or the Bluebonnet curriculum, it eliminates the hunt, that digging and looking for the rigorous materials to add to our Envision curriculum. It takes away that, so kind of in my classroom, something you would see is I'm using number talks to do like what Ms. Links was talking about. Help kids see those numbers by what they're built and breaking them apart, putting them back together and understanding just the foundation of what numbers are and why we're doing it. But I have to bring in my number talks, I have to bring in my spiral review, I have to bring in all these other resources, and that's what Bluebonnet did. It had it all right there. Instead of having to find it all, it was already built into the curriculum. And then it taught it explicitly, but it also spiraled it for the teachers. That was a really important component to me, was that they taught it this day and then they spiraled it. They taught it, spiraled it, and it kept coming back for the kids. So if they don't get it the first time, they're going to see it again and again and again, and then it keeps spiraling with each grade level. So it's following them, and it's building on top of the foundation that's started in kindergarten all the way up to 5th grade, and you could see this with those students. We watched the 1st graders, and then we got to go watch the 5th graders, and you could see it in action. These kids were engaged. It was a positive experience for them. They knew what they were doing, and they were doing rigorous material. The kids are absolutely capable of doing these things. We just have to find the right curriculum that's going to help us present it for them better, and I believe Bluebonnet really is the curriculum that we need to help our kids reach that level.
All right, Felix, will you go to the next slide? So did you want to add anything?
I just wanted to say that, I've taught 5th grade, I've taught 4th grade, I've taught 3rd and 2nd grade actually, and it was super impressive to walk into a building with 39 languages. Their 5th grade math class had 30 students, and they worked from the minute we walked into that room until we left, and the things they were doing, he had to teach on the board, and he did beautifully, and it's not about quantity. He taught it, and then I got it. And it was incredible that these kids were working those problems, immediately showing mastery of it, because they raised the paper that they're working on, and every single kid in that room got it. And it was rigorous work. And then we went into 1st grade, and a lot of what Ashley does, but she has to piece together, she was doing, what this teacher was doing, she was doing. But I just think we owe it to our teachers, instead of having to go on these hunts, and they do, to pull from here and there. They are taught in college to deliver that lesson. They are not curriculum specialists. That we're not taught to put a curriculum together. And I think that walking away from Eastridge on that day and seeing what we saw in the rigor of that curriculum and the success of every student was just an eye-opener to me, that we owe it to our teachers to give them a curriculum that is viable and allow them to do what they're trained to do. And we also have great support from Eastridge. That they will mentor us. They told us kind of how their walk, their journey, their professional development, and it's nice to have them to turn to and kind of figure out the pieces and the way that we need to move forward. And they were super gracious that day, and it probably, I agree, it's probably one of the best trainings that I have been to.
I threw in just some analysis on our grades 3 through 5 star scores. It's just an average of scores over the last couple of years. And the pink were our 2023 meets scores, and then our scores went down in 2024 on meets in those groups. And the blue is the target we were supposed to hit, for 2024, and then the green is the next target that the state has set for 2027. And our scores are decreasing and not increasing, and it's not because of a lack of effort on our teachers' side. It's because we feel like they don't have what they need, the tools that they need. The reason that we're coming to get approval for this curriculum is because there is a grant. The state has a grant to help with this. The Texas Bluebonnet curriculum itself is actually free. That's one of the requirements for the high quality materials, is it has to be free. So it's going to be out there online for anybody to get the curriculum. But the most important piece is the professional development that comes along with it, the purchase, the material, or to purchase the people to come train our staff appropriately. And they did stress that at East Ridge. You need the people to come train your staff to be able to do this, to implement it the correct way. They'll be training Gina, me, Lucretia, to help, to be the math coaches, to work with the teachers on, doing that practice of the lessons, breaking the lessons down beforehand to make sure they understand what is the lesson telling them to do, how does that look, to make sure we're delivering it appropriately to the teachers. So the professional development is expensive, there's manipulatives, there's online pieces. Those things are not free and they're not cheap. And so the state has a LASSO grant. That's a $200,000 grant that will pay for all of the parts that go along with the curriculum that we need to have our teachers be successful. And so there's a timeline of what the grant, the things we have to do. The grant just opened, and that's on the next slide. The grant just opened. I have to submit it by December 13th, but part of that is we have to have school board approval on the curriculum before we can apply for the grant. The other thing is we had to have proof that the teachers were on board with this, and so we did go to East Ridge to have them see it. Ms. McCowan and I took Ms. Moffitt to a meeting way earlier. We did it specifically, we took Ms. Moffitt because we knew Ms. Moffitt was our hardest sell. And then so once she kind of was like, okay, I'm sort of into this, and then we tracked down the East Ridge teacher or the principal, and then we set the visit up. But we were like, if we can get her on board, we know we can probably get some of the other people too. And I'm thankful because these teachers are quality teachers and they need something for their hard work to shine through. And this is where we feel like we can do that. This is the timeline. If the grant is awarded, it will be awarded in February. Then we'll be able to start partnering with the provider to help us provide the professional development that will go through the summer, and we'll implement the curriculum in next school year. One of the things we also want to do, if we're able to do this curriculum, is have a parent night, because we do know it's going to look different for parents. The homework that's sent home is not traditional homework, so we're not going to be sending home like sheets of math problems for students to do what they suggest. It's just practice. Parents can do it with their kids if they want. Teachers can provide, dojo points or something just as an incentive. There's videos and things that go along with it to send home to parents. So like, if you want to help your kids, here's how it's done. But it's not required homework. They did say grading is a little bit different because you have to figure out how you're going to grade as a district. We'll still ensure we meet district standards as the 10 grades. We'll still get that. But it will look a little different for parents. So we want to have a parent night to show parents, here's what it's going to look like. Trust the process, trust us to help you get your kids get there. The biggest thing too that they stress is this sets our kids up for math at upper levels. It helps kids know how to do math when they get to chemistry, physics, algebra. They see great success with students being able to pass their TSI, their ACT, and that's where we're struggling also as a district, is our upper level math scores are struggling. And so this gives them that foundation for critical thinking that they need in high school. And so that's another thing, is it benefits the upper level classes as well, because those kids get really strong conceptual thinking that they don't have right now at high school. And so we feel like it's a district thing that it's going to help out, not just elementary school as well. And then the last page there is it talks about the grant that we're going to be applying for if we are able to get this curriculum adopted. I guess questions for any of us?
Well, you answered my question was going to be parent, because you think pushback, you're going to get pushback.
We know.
I have heard from family, friends, whatever you do not adopt Eureka. It's horrible. And
everybody I know that has it hates it. The parents, I'm saying the parents. The kids may like it, teachers may like it, but parents
And I think
hate
probably
it.
when it comes home and you don't know how to help your kid, there's frustration. And so that's really why, you know, as a campus, we will have the conversation like Eastridge did about it's not a have to. Homework is not a have to. We don't want to send anything home that parents can't help their students with because it is a frustration. And again, it's not about quantity. It is about the quality of what they're doing. And our blocks are 90 minutes and Eastridge only had 60 minutes. So those kids were finishing, they reached that exit ticket before they left, which I know we'll be able to do because we have 30 more minutes built in. But, you know, that homework is not a have to, and I don't want to send anything home that's going to cause frustration. But like what Kim was saying, there are videos that go along with it, which would help explain to parents, I mean, this is why you're doing this. And honest to goodness, sitting in that 5th grade classroom, I really had to watch this lesson, and then it clicked, and then I was like, okay, and then I was making sure all my peers were like with me, like, did you get that? But it was such an aha of how he did it in a different way with these kids, and they get it. And they're thinking mentally about math like I have never thought about. So I do understand the pushback, I do, but I think in how we handle that and the requirements we have about homework, I think that will help that. And then the parent meeting and then providing those videos for those lessons, I think will help too.
I mean, I trust y'all. That's what y'all do. It's what, you know, but my thing is, did you see that on up it is helping, or is it just a sell where it's at right now?
Eastridge has had, I don't even know how many years, but the valedictorian at PD has been an Eastridge student every single year, I think since Jeannie has been the principal at Eastridge. And already a 5th grader in that math class had already written his valedictorian speech because he just believes that that's what he's going to do, and he was blowing through that math. So, I mean, after seeing it, I think once you go in and you see all levels of it, there's just a confidence in that now that we didn't have before, but we certainly have now.
Well, I just know, you know, from when my kids, when I was in school, when my kids were in school, being on the school board, there's always a better way in math. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm an accountant, 2 + 2 is 4, so I'm going to be a hard sell. I'm going to be one of the ones going, I don't get this.
And this is their 4th year, so, you know, they have gone through every piece of it, and now they're just sitting back and watching their kids soar.
Well, I mean, if y'all love it and the teachers love it, I mean, I'm not, you know,
You know,
going to say
and last
no,
year we
but I
had
just,
Brooke, we had Lucretia, and we had Kathy teaching math, and I don't think it gets any better than that in our math program. And then for those scores to come back and not be what we wanted them to be it's so disappointing, and it disappoints them because they worked so hard. And I just feel like it's not our teachers, it's our curriculum and the lack of rigor within our curriculum. And then they're spending hours trying to pull from this and that, and it's really not, you know, what a teacher does. The teacher delivers it, and the curriculum specialists write it. I feel like we need to move in a different direction.
Well,
with
and
the
if we
curriculum.
don't change somehow, I mean, our scores aren't getting better, so we have to do something different. We can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results, so. And, you know, they've had such great results, we just really feel like this is the route we want to take.
Any questions? Anybody else?
No homework.
Don't worry about it.
Optional.
Go to school a long time ago, they no
Optional homework.
No homework for Doug.
No homework for Doug.
All of it, no.
So do you see this, once we do this, how does that transpire to go into 6th, 7th, and 8th?
So I've talked to Ms. Carr about that. So Texas Bluebonnet Learning has a program that it was written by Carnegie Math. It's 6 through 8. I talked to the Amarillo ISD math person. They haven't felt as confident about the math in 6 through 8. So we're waiting a little bit. We would prefer to start elementary school. They said the results have just, if they've done it in elementary school, it's just made the kids stronger thinkers anyway at junior high, moving on up to high school. So we're kind of hesitant to do anything yet with junior high until we see how this goes with elementary school. I just haven't heard good results from junior high yet, and I hate to move to that point. So Ms. Carr and I have talked about, maybe going to find a school in Amarillo to see if they do like it. Some Lubbock schools have used it in the junior high. I just don't want to move there quite yet. I haven't heard as good of things.
So does that affect them when they get to the junior high? Does it make them?
From what we've heard, the kids that went from research to junior high have not had, it's not been an issue. They've got that conceptual foundation from elementary school, so they're able to continue moving on fine.
So it makes it easier
Yes.
for them to.
Yes. And it's even, it's really affecting or algebra. It's really affecting the upper level maths even more than it is junior high. It's giving those kids the conceptual thinking they need for the upper level math. They said the scores at high, in algebra are really where they're seeing some big gains.
So do they see more kids when they come out of the elementary and they go into the junior high? Do they see them going into the advanced class? Is that what it's doing?
Yes.
Overall?
Yes, because see, this year we actually started, the state required us to start a 6th grade advanced math class. It's a requirement. And so, and the crazy thing is there's some kiddos that have barely passed their, do we have any that didn't? Okay, so some schools have had kids that didn't even pass the STAR that are in the 6th grade advanced math because of the cap, the requirement that you have to put 60% of your kids in it. We're at the word we have some barely passed their STAR in the advanced math because of the state requirement. But this is helping kids be better for that, have a stronger foundation. They're pushing the advanced math classes in 6th grade, so next year we'll transition to a 7th grade one. We've already done the algebra one, but it's making the score stronger for those classes to get them ready for college prep.
Okay, so good job. Where do you find a school that's comparable to look at and make your observations? I think that's great. So, good job.
Anybody else? Mike, you got anything?
They answered all the questions.
Okay.
I think if this is a tool that can make your job better, easier, and more, get better results, make it easier for the kids, and y'all believe in the program, and we've got a good team put together down there, so trust your judgment on that.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to say, I see the commitment that y'all have. Y'all being here tonight, presenting this to us. Y'all seem like you're really committed to doing this, and if it means that much, if it's gonna bring our scores up, that's something we gotta look at doing.
Okay. That's pretty good. It's all right. Do I have a motion to approve the Blue Bonnet Learning?
I move to approve the Blue Bonnet Learning K-5 math upon the SBOE approval.
Have a motion by Doug. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Logan. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed. Motion carries. All right. Let's go to our campus reports and go back to Mrs. McAllen.
All right. We've been busy over at the elementary. We enrolled another new student today, and I have another one coming tomorrow. And our numbers just continue to grow, and I believe Mr. Garrison has the most up-to-date enrollment numbers, so I'll let you share that later. We had some exciting news last week. Mrs. Bryan and Mrs. Anderson were recipients of the Education Credit Union Pocket Change Grant. So that was exciting, a nice little award there. We had our reading and science night. We combined it this year. We wanted to incorporate, because we're moving into a cross-curricular environment. And so science and reading night, we had one 4th grade made Play-Doh. That was kind of the hit. They got to make their own Play-Doh. I'm not sure parents loved it, but the kids sure did. So we had a successful night that evening. We concluded our fall fundraiser. I know that Miss Graham and Miss Lozier are always so happy when the coops are gone. And we had a successful fall fundraiser. Region 16 came out and did our door audit, and we passed. And she is always so complimentary. We've had the same lady for the past 2 years. Miss Garland actually used to work with her husband, and she just always compliments how safe our building is and the measures that we have gone to within our district to keep our kids safe. So that was nice to hear from her. We are running our drills, fire drill, and our shelter in place we've conducted. We had our Red Ribbon Week, and the kids enjoyed dressing up, and then it's always fun to celebrate our kindergartners in the ABC Cafe. We have, I believe, 13 more on Friday that know all their letters and their sounds. And then if you'll move to the next page, please, Felix, thank you. I numbered the pictures. Number 1 is Miss Bryan and Miss Anderson receiving their award. Number 2 is our last group of our little ABC club. Number 3, Miss Kirksey is doing a really sweet treat for the office staff once a month, and those ladies work super hard, and they sure love getting their coffee. And I missed that one, but I'm not missing the next one, Miss Kirksey. I'll be there, and we just appreciate you for thinking of them. Number 4 and number 6 are side by side. We had the pumpkin carving with Kinder. And our maintenance department and Felix came over for some of our kids that did not have an adult to carve a pumpkin with them. And it was just true, we appreciate that so much, and the kids appreciated that. And we just wanted to recognize them. Number 7 is some of our UIL kids. We're doing some different pieces of UIL on campus, and our kiddos are participating in that. And then at number 5, the picture to the left and to the right, Mr. Bidwell reached out and organized for us to get 300 pumpkins donated from Nutrien, which we so appreciated. Those pumpkins were almost as big as our kids, and they loved picking their pumpkin up. They went to decorate them as their favorite book character, and then that is the group of Nutrien folks that came out to help hand off all those pumpkins, and the kids had a great time with that, and we were super grateful. Number 8 down at the bottom, this year Mr. Brassville decided to take a group of 5th graders to watch the band, and the kids loved that. They haven't seen the band in action, so they went on a Saturday to Amarillo and had a great time watching the band. And then our sweet custodians down at the bottom, they do a great job of keeping our building safe and clean, and we celebrated them on Custodial Day. Some upcoming events, we have our breakfast for our kindergartners Friday, who know their ABCs, and then the 11th, Mr. Brassfield and the 3rd graders will put on a program. On the 14th, we have another drill, and our school will celebrate Thanksgiving as a staff. We have UIL on the 15th at Frank Phillips, and then the 20th and 21st is always a hit, and that's our Thanksgiving feast days. We always have a great turnout for that. I do want to thank Tara Huff. She came to read during Reading and Science Night, and she did a fabulous job. And then there's a few other pictures from our reading night there on that page. I did have some data that I put in for you. This first is grade 3, and it is a math assessment. If you will look at the second portion of that, where it breaks it down into masters, meets, approaches, and below, that's our STAR language. And of course, we want everyone to be at least meets or masters, so we're working hard at that. And the next one is our 5th grade math. And if you look at that middle section, we had 16 students that mastered, we had 12 that meets, 8 approaches, and 12 below. So we really have 20 kiddos there that we really want to bump up to that meets or that masters. So we're working hard at that. Our teachers are working hard. I missed one on that other page, sorry Felix, the one that has 2. And that is our 1st grade. Our 1st grade is also giving DMAX test, which is not an easy task to do, teaching them how to log on and to do that. But Miss Hanson does a fabulous job. And she, again, is using the same language there in that middle section, the masters, meets, and approaches. And she only had 5 below and 4 at approaches, and the rest were at meets and masters. So they're working hard to get those kiddos where they need to be, and I really feel like this new math curriculum will help us get them there.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Mrs. Carr.
So the first page, next page. So I just have events coming up around the junior high. The girls have already started playing basketball. They had their first basketball game yesterday against Vega. And the boys will wrap up football this week, tomorrow at home versus Highland Park, and then they'll start basketball as well, so we'll have a lot of basketball coming up. On the 15th of November, we will also go to Frank Phillips College to do junior high UIL. We have over 60 kids at the junior high are participating in UIL this year. The rest of it's just basketball. And we don't have a Thanksgiving meal at the junior high. We do a Christmas meal at the junior high, so that will be on the 18th, right before Christmas break. We've completed 2 lockdown drills, a secure drill, and a fire drill. 2 weeks ago, our student council went with some high school student council and NHS kids to West Plains. Jostens put on a leadership conference there, so they all went and participated in that. And then Mrs. Riggle entered her 7th and 8th grade ELA kids, all of them, in a Young Writers essay contest that she's pretty excited about. She said they'll announce the winners in January, and she's pretty confident that we'll have some. So, and then junior high finished up their season, and they swept Vegas, so that was pretty exciting to have all the teams win. The next page is just some pictures of stuff. Those are our September Students of the Month. Right there, we celebrated them. For Student of the Month, we always give the kids that win Student of the Month pizza and like a drink for that day. So, and then we celebrated our custodians on National Custodian Day. We have some awesome custodians at the junior high with Shane and Debbie. The pictures at the bottom were all of our kiddos that have perfect attendance for the first 6 weeks at the junior high. And this year we started celebrating them and giving them a little prize for having perfect attendance. The next page is our junior high boys cross country team. Actually, at their district meet, won 2nd place as a team, and they were pretty excited about that. And then the other 2 pictures at the top are just of those junior high kids that went to that leadership conference. At the bottom there are our 3 junior high teachers that won the Pocket Change grant from Education Credit Union. We have Miss Reed, Miss Broadus, and Miss Riggle. So they have plans to buy books and other curriculum things for their classroom with that money. The next page is from Red Ribbon Week, actually Halloween. The top picture has Constable Hartraft in the picture with the kiddos. In the past, she has come to the junior high during advisory period and spoke to the junior high as a whole. This year she wanted to change it up, and she spent 2 days at the junior high talking to individual classes just to get a little bit more individual conversations with kiddos about not doing drugs and that kind of stuff. So she spent 2 days up there with those kids doing that, and then the bottom picture there is just all the kiddos and staff that dressed up for Halloween. We may or may not have had some inflatable costume races down the hall. The next couple of pages are just data of tests at the junior high. The top here is 6th grade. The one on the left is English. And if you look there, like in the middle, the STAR Standard Performance, she didn't have anybody master, but she had 57% at meets, 30 at approaches, and 14 at did not meet. So we're really focusing on, moving those kids out of did not meet and trying to keep that did not meet to under 10%. Of course, we don't want anybody to fail, but we have to have some realistic expectations. Something else that the teachers at the junior high started this year with their data is that every kid in all the core classes has a data tracking sheet where after they take a test, they put the name of the test at the top and then they track where their score is. And on their data tracking sheet, it marks where meets is and it marks where masters is, just so they can kind of see, they can track their own data and kind of take accountability of where their scores are and just kind of see how they do and hopefully see that they're, hopefully progressing through that data. So the test on the right there is math, and it looks pretty good. If you'll notice, she only had 4 kids that were did not meet, which was at 7% of the kiddos. The bottom 2 there are 7th grade, and in the left one is English, and she had pretty good STAR scores ratings there on that one. And then on the right is math, and we have a little bit more than we would want to be in the below, but what you have to remember also with 7th grade math is you don't have any of the honors kids in 7th grade math, because if they're honors kids in 7th grade, they're taking 8th grade math. So these are our, middle to bottom kiddos in 7th grade math. And then the last page is 8th grade. The top one is English, which looks really good. She had only had 4 of the kids that did not meet, which was 9%. And then the one on the right is math. A little bit more than we would want to see. It did not meet. This is linear equations, and I have talked to Ms. Hale about this, and she's definitely working on circling back to those linear equation problems that they struggled with. And then on the left is a social studies test, because in 8th grade they take a U.S. history test, and it also looks really good too. So this year Ms. Reed is teaching 8th grade social studies, and I was in her class recently, and she's doing a great job.
Good deal. Thank you. All right, Mr. Jones.
First one is the Emerald College. They have a system where it's two things that they do the outline area. High schools come in and they do them together that way, and then the next day they do all the AIC ones. So we went on 2nd of October, it's Success 360. And what they did, we had 30 students sign up for it. The seniors were opportunity, if they wanted to sign up, everything else, they had to turn in that they wanted to go and everything. And then at the program, they have 20 different things that Emerald College offers at their different campuses, so the kids could get to see, maybe something that they're interested in going to Emerald College once they graduate. We were fortunate we had a student that actually won a $1,000 scholarship. So that was pretty exciting for that. Miss Jones said that this is the same time, I guess, when she was at Sunray, she used the good luck charm because she had a student at Sunray that wanted to last time. So next slide, please. Then Miss Jones has set up, we did the Frank Phillips College Career Fair. This time we had 37 students go to this. They have different colleges, universities come to Frank Phillips, and they have the military, and they're all there. And so they got to meet the representatives and kind of get some ideas about if they didn't have an idea, or maybe you can find out more about the college they were interested in. Afterwards, they took them on a tour of Frank Phillips, and then they also got to go cafeteria. School district paid for them to go over and have lunch at the cafeteria, which I hear is a great place to eat. Next slide, please. And then we have, as Ms. Carr talked about, the Jocelyn Leadership Collaborative. We had 33 high school students 33 Stuco and NHS members that went to this along with the middle school. The speaker was Dr. Phil Campbell, and then the students were taught about not being part of the crowd, but to lead for all. And so there were some activities that they got to learn and everything else, and so it was really a positive experience from what I got from the students and the teachers that went. Next slide, please. Okay, this is how I set mine up for the STAR performance standards. This is for biology, and this gives you the topic that the quiz was over that they did. We had 34 students that were on mastery, which is 52% of them. Meets was 19, approaches 10, and then below we only had 2 students. So it's Ms. Berger's doing a great job with the students in the biology, getting them prepared. This is just a portion of their STAR test, but it's what they've covered so far. Next slide, please. Algebra 1. They did the solving equations and inequalities, and this, of course, math, as we've kind of talked about tonight, it's a struggle, and we're still working on getting that going, but this again is just here. Masters, we had 7 students, which made up 16% of it. We had 12 that were at meets, gave us 27%, approaches another 12. So there, we're sitting there with, I believe it's 60% of this, or 7% of the students there, at least are at the approaches or above. And then we had 13 students that were below, so it gives us an idea of where they're at there for going in for their STAR test in 1st of May. English 2 did a test over fiction, and the master part, kind of low number, 30, but if you also notice the percentages change with the subjects, it's not all the same score, and so you notice here they had to have 90% or above to master, so that's, kind of explains also the number there. The meets, which was the 69% to 90% range, we had a high number, 33, so we have a very high number of students that are meeting their grade level. That kind of number is 52%. Approaches was 8, and then below, again, a little bit high, but it's also at 60%. So the number, again, depending on the subject you're taking, and the percentage the state set down for the number. And I believe my last one here is for the English 1. They did a unit test over this, and again, the percentage you'll notice now it's 84% instead of 90%. And we had 12 students here. We had 20 that were at meets, so we have 32 of our students that are meeting or above. The approaches was at 13, which working on getting those up, and then we have some that are down below, and it's 42%, so it's the numbers. These are the results for these classes so far.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, Coach Lee.
You can see the dates and the events that have taken place, numbers for high school football this year, 55 players, so that was strong, 26 players in the junior high, which are solid numbers for 2A. High school volleyball, with 34 players in high school and 30 in the junior high, very strong. Some of the events that had taken place after the volleyball team traveled to Tulia last Monday for the by-district playoff. They beat Post in 3. They will play in the area round of playoffs on Saturday, 2 p.m. start, and they'll travel down just outside of Lubbock and compete there. Drayton Renville advanced to the regional cross-country meet, took 5th in the district, so it was a strong showing for Drayton, not necessarily the team, but the volleyball team as a whole had a tremendous start to their season, carried the #1 seed for the big schools, will compete against Wink, and they've done tremendous thus far. The weight room, Coach Garrison has done a tremendous job. She got a new eagle head up in the weight room, new mirrors, so anybody that's been in there, the weight room is looking great. She's been tremendous in helping and spearheading those projects. And then girls basketball underway. They've had 10 girls that did not participate in volleyball, so that's extremely strong numbers. Junior high girls basketball, solid numbers, and that was only eligible girls as they had tryouts, had to be eligible to try out. Obviously with football still going, boys basketball, most of them are in football, so that has not taken place, but great start for the girls' side of sports.
Right. Thank you very much. All right, Mrs. Searles, you have anything else?
No.
Got plenty to say, huh? Okay. All right, Ms. Kirksey.
Okay, I'm just gonna talk about the summary of the finances. We put the numbers in, and this is through October. We met in September, but we had just adopted the budget, so we didn't have any finances for that. 2 months in, we should be around 16% of where our budget is. There are a few that are over that. The one that really sticks out like a big thumb is the transportation, but it does seem like every time we turn around, we're having to tow a bus. I know Coach Moose has gone out and driven buses trying to keep them working, and ended up, we had to tow that bus because it wouldn't go over 5 miles per hour. And then Mr. Garrison and Mr. Jones got the privilege of breaking down in the Suburban in Tulia when they had gone to the cross country. So we've had a lot of issues in the transportation, so that's why we're looking at 46%, and we're only 2 months in of that budget being spent. We're hoping everything gets fixed, so then maybe the rest of the year we won't have to use all of that. As far as the ADA, the refined ADA numbers are looking good. I know in September sometimes it's kind of hard to get an accurate number because we're having to make sure all the pre-K and kindergarten are coded correctly. And so there is a small dip from September to October, but nothing significant. Do y'all have any questions? I did put in the quarterly investment because the last time we did that was only through June, and we did receive our bond payment on September 26th. And so I went ahead and put that in there so y'all would be aware of where we're sitting on that.
Any questions? No? All right, Mr. Hines.
Okay, I have a few things for you. On our bond, we've started work on a contract with Champs Demolition. We've sent, so we contacted the lawyer, got the contract, sent it to King Consulting, who we're going to have do the project. They have given me some changes. I forwarded them back to Jason to send to the lawyer, and so we're just waiting on the response there. We will begin. You approved the ranking of the CMAR contract, so we'll get started working on that. Once we've gotten the process on that is once we've gotten the first thing to do is get a contract negotiated. And in our packet that we sent out to them, we sent out example contracts and said one of the questions I had to answer is, are you going to try to make any modifications to this contract? They said no. I'd be shocked if they didn't fudge on that a little bit. But at least we're ahead. You know, last time we did this, we didn't actually send a contract with the proposal. And then if you remember, it took months of contract negotiations. I'm hoping since they've already seen the contract, that we're going to shorten that time span. So then once we get the CMAR on board, then they'll work with the architect and get the drawings to a 90% done state. Then at that point, the CM, I'm just going to say the contract manager. The contract manager can then go out and start getting pricing on everything and get a guaranteed maximum price to bring back to us. So that's where we are on that. Track update, yay, it is finally done. That project got delayed so many times over so many ridiculous things. It was ridiculous how long.
Looks good.
It feels good. If you've been out and walked on it, it feels really great. Coach Moose and I went out there, looked at it, and he's like, man, this looks like a good track. So he's been doing it for a while, so he knows more than me. So I think they did a good job. They just took eons to do it. So it's finally done. Doug, the federal impact. I have sent in a public information request for the Department of the Interior to try to find out the information. At the same time, now that we've had an election yesterday and I know exactly who our officials are, I'm going to send letters and even ask if I can come talk with them to our national officials, like Mr. Cruz, or Senator Cruz, I guess I should say, our other senator and our congressman. The process of getting federal impact aid is just ridiculous. And so I'm going to try to meet with them, or at least get into conversations with their staff to say, this is something that needs to be revised. And tell them that we've missed out on years of aid, and I don't know, maybe try to convince them to do something about that. But I have no hope that will actually happen, but I'm going to try. So that's where I'm at on that. Her talking about the safety walkthrough reminded me that we had a safety walkthrough with TEA. It was just an informal walkthrough before they do a formal walkthrough. And they found a few minor things. Jason can go over that in a security update later in the executive session, but nothing significant. And I would say that his impression was that we were in a very good position safety-wise. So that was good to see by the state saying, yep, we're good. Any questions on any of that? The last thing I got is me. So I sent you all a few weeks ago a letter. I am retiring at Christmas. So in that letter, I informed you that there is a possibility of me coming back halftime, and my plans have firmed up, and that is going to happen. So I'll come back. What's happened is I'm applying for a graduate program, and so I'll spend half my time working on my graduate program, half my time working for y'all. That will let me come back for another year to get us through the end of the bond. That will let me help our technology department still for a while, still work on the safety stuff. So, Jason and I talked about it yesterday, that that's where my plans are now. So I just wanted to let you know, and I appreciate those of you who reached out to me. That's it.
We appreciate all the hard work you've done through the years, I can tell you that, because we wouldn't have the things that we have without you doing what you did, so, thank you.
Thanks, Richard.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Well deserved.
We're gonna definitely miss you.
But not yet, because I'm coming
Not
back.
yet. All right. Garrison.
Okay, as you can see in our enrollment and attendance, our enrollment is staying steady. Actually up a kid or two there, and then our refined ADA is strong, and so that's a good thing. The attendance is strong right now, so they're doing a good job getting kiddos in the classroom, so I appreciate that. I didn't make it to the TASA study group this morning, forgot about it, so mark that off there. But one thing I do want to talk to you about is the annual turkey handout that we do right before Thanksgiving. I know Mr. Ryder has made arrangements for us to get turkeys again, and so do we want to do it like we've done in the past and do elementary on, I believe we've done that on Thursday afternoon, and then junior high and high school on Friday. Is everybody? And that would be the 21st and 2nd.
They said we could come get them on the 20th.
Okay.
So we'll need someplace to store.
Okay.
You don't have a trailer anymore? Will it fit for you?
Mrs. Hayes.
I think they'll fit over there, yeah. I'm pretty sure they will.
Place to store.
Think we can make room?
We'll have to see. I mean, at this time of year, I bet she's got a lot of stuff in
I
there.
may be able to call him back and see if I can get half of them on the day of, and then come back and pick the other half up on that day. I don't think he'll have a problem with that. They have plenty of stuff.
Then I can go pick them up if I need to.
Okay, well, I'll call him back and ask him.
Okay.
At the end of the day? Same as always, at the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah. Around 3-ish.
And I'll send out a reminder before that.
So if we can kind of, do you have any idea if you can get off one day at least?
I'll make it work.
Rusty? You can get off?
Yeah, that Friday, I'm off anyways.
Okay.
Take it all to work on Thursday.
You can do Thursday, Mike?
I'll try to do that.
Okay. All right, good deal.
That's all I've got.
Okay. So let's set our next meeting. So y'all want to do it early in the month? Or we're pretty early into this month, so y'all want to try to do it on the 11th, or would the 4th be better? So you think you'll have everything done with the CMR and all that stuff?
We probably won't talk about it again until probably February.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm assuming that Mark won't have the audit ready to report to you until January, wouldn't you assume? Or, I don't know. We'll have to, I haven't talked with the auditor about when he'll actually be done with it so I don't know, because I'm sorry, I just didn't even think about it. Because that's usually what drives that date for us is
Right.
when is Mark going to present to us? And I just didn't even think about asking that.
That's all right. We'll tentatively set it for, how about the 4th? Work for y'all? Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything? Questions? All right, I make the motion to adjourn at 7:29. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. All in favor? All in favor?